Hello again, YouTube peoples. Patrick with Homebred Aquatics. Alright, so we're setting up the CO2 system. Now I've already unplugged my canister filter. We're going to get right into it. And I'm going to go over how to hook up everything throughout this. So, follow along and check it out. Alright, let me swap around over here. This is my bad side. Anyway, so first is first. Pipe cutters. You can use scissors. Just make sure it's a good pair of scissors. So, a thing I didn't do, but I want to purposely show you, is my water line is a little high right now. When I cut into this, since I have not drained the water, I'm going to probably drain the water through this line because there's water in it. I may not. We're going to see together. Haven't tested the water on it. Tested the water on it. Anyway. For this, I have a thicker portion right here. This is where I'm going to cut it and put this inline in. All right, so let's start off. And there it goes. As I explained, draining just a little bit of all the rest of the water out of here. Splashing myself in the face. One thing I didn't say, cut the water to the canister off. I've made a big mess. I'll be right back. I'm going to fix this. Alright, we're back from mine. It wasn't that big of a mess. My mess. Anyway, cut my line. Inline diffuser. This one, bottom portion right here, top portion right here. And this is the tough part, takes a little bit of strength, and we're gonna see if I can get it with my hands. And if not, I'm gonna go grab a lighter. But looks like I am a physically fit man and can do this. I want to get it all the way over this lip right here. Alright. Then I'm going to take this down and I'm just going to screw this in. Pow. Nice and tight. And if I get any leaking, just gonna push it up a little bit more. We'll know if it leaks real quick. Same thing I'm gonna do right here. But you know what? I'm gonna do the lighter trick on this one. All right, back with my lighter. Made some more of a mess. Let's see here. Should be able to just heat this up a bit. Not a lot. Just trying to warm the pipe up. Make it a little more malleable. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Oh, that slipped on like a glove. Huh. Why didn't I do that in the beginning? So much easier. Again, we're gonna screw this nice and tight. Feel it cinch down just a bit. All right, easy enough. The first one wasn't easy. Man, did you see me struggle. Get a lighter. I was just trying to show off for the camera. All right, so setting up the CO2 canister now. All right, so next up is our regulator. As you can see, I already installed the regulator and I installed it in our first video. So, however, if you haven't done so, remember just screw it on right to your stem here. Hand tight is fine, about as tight as you can get it hand wise. No need for anything else unless you have bent threads and you need to use some thread tape or anything like that. Sure, no harm, no foul in that. However, once you've installed this, you've installed your inline that we saw up here. Next is going to be your bubble counter and the CO2 line going to your inline diffuser. So unscrew this, and I just fill it with water. A lot of people say that you can fill it with MCT oil, but you don't have to. Water is absolutely fine, and water is what I have in here at the moment. But you're just going to want to cut that CO2 line to length, and the same thing as what's going to be on that bubble counter is on here. There's a little nipple. If I unscrew this right here, you can pop it right onto the nipple and then screw this back down and it will cinch. Same thing exists right here. Now we're not ready to crack open the CO2 bottle yet. Let's not do that, but we do have to plug it in. So let's take you over there to see how that looks. Alright, so excuse my jumbled mess of cords, but there's a key things I want you to look at here. Right here, this one that have my thumb on, this is my timer for my light. Now my lights turn on roughly at 1 o'clock and turn off right about 10 o'clock. However, if we go up to my CO2 I'm gonna have turn on about an hour to an hour and a half early, and that's just so that I can build up the CO2 in the system. So you see here it's coming on right around 11, and it's staying on right until those lights turn off. They can turn off at the same time, but your CO2 needs to turn on beforehand. Now, this is where we're going to take the plug for your regulator. We're going to go and plug that in. Run the line to the other end and plug that in together as well. Boom, we have power. So, from here, now that I have power, I can I can turn my canister back on, flip it back. We have water. And let me plug this canister back in over here. And we're gonna check for leaks together. Are we leaking? Let's get a little closer. How about we? Alright, so next up on here is we are going to crack this open. Now, 2 things to do before you crack this open. Right here is your bubble counter. Now, if you get this, the bubble counter should be off. Towards me, so rolling towards our camera, that is going to be on. Pushing forward is going to be off. It also shows us right on the side here. It'll say on and then off. So turning towards us, on, away from us, off. Now, I am a huge advocate when we start CO2. My bubble count is really based on what my fish look like. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, we watch the fish breathe. If you're gassing too much, you'll see rapid pace breathing from your fish. I like to start at about this pace, about 3 bubbles per second or so, and then you just tone it up from there. And your overall goal is to have a 1 pH drop here. However, you need to ease into that. Your system's not used to it. So, just as you see, I'm just going to show you as an example if I want to turn the bubbles up just a little bit. And that was just a little turn, and we can see how rapidly it goes. So I'm going to set it right back down, and I can fine tune it in. Very, very delicate on this. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what we're trying to do here. And we can see that if we're doing it right, make sure our pipes are in there. You can see the gas just bubbling along, and we can see purling already starting on all of our leaves. Honestly, fairly simple. You're gonna run into some issues just like I did. This is all live with you. But to go back over it one more time, regulator's on. We're gonna snip the line, get a bucket ready, get a towel ready as we saw it's necessary. Plug our lines back on, use a handy dandy lighter to get it on easier. Use some pipe cutters or really good scissors to cut that line. Jam it on there, tighten everything down. Nipple, nipple, line to line, plug it in, slide it over, or slide your canister on, plug your canister back in, and let it flow. And then from here, we can adjust our CO2. So, well, nice having you guys with me and seeing my mess ups, but hey, it's the truth of the truth here. So, all right, thank you guys.